tonight's QI. And tonight we have a higgledy-piggledy hodgepodge of things beginning with H. And joining me tonight are the humongous Phill Jupitus. The hyperbolic Ross Noble. The hygienic Jack D. And ho-hum, it's Alan Davies. So, anytime you want to say hi, give me a bell. And Jack goes. And Phill goes. And Ross goes.
Ring-a-ding, 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 ring-a-ding.
Yeah, thank you. And Alan goes. I'm sorry. I'm so not sorry. So, let's give this pudding a stir, gentlemen. Why do bankers like long-haired men?
Oh, hello.
And short...
Is there any need for that? Really? I mean, come on.
That's
and
charming.
The scariest thing is I'm wearing the same shirt.
You are?
Just look at that.
Why
Is
did they do
appalling,
that?
isn't it?
I've got to hand it to you, Ross. You've got lovely legs.
Yeah.
The review.
Unfortunately, that suppository was the oddest shaped one I'd ever eaten. It was... No wonder he's not smiling.
Oh, God, I only just noticed you.
The full question is, why do bankers like long-haired men and short-skirted women? Yes.
Bi-curious.
Is it like when you're in the bank and you sort of like lean forward like that, the hair just brushes off all the little receipt stubs like that? And the bankers are sat there going, brilliant, I don't have to go around and clean that off. It's like a sort of a reverse Hoover.
Right, OK, yeah. Fair enough. What do financiers look for? When are they happiest?
When they're rolling in money.
Yes, and when do they earn more money?
In the summer?
In the 60s.
Yes? What's the word for a period of prosperity?
Boom.
A boom, and as opposed to a bust or a recession. Now, it just so happens that throughout the 20th century, the length of women's skirts in fashion was exactly correlated to the rise and fall of the stock market. And skirts got shorter and shorter, right up to the Wall Street crash, the flapper skirts, and then instantly skirt lengths got longer again during the Depression.
And the long hair is correspondingly, long hair means a boom?
Yes, it's a negative correlation, as it were. The further down the hair, the further up the market. There are other indicators, or at least things that go with boom and bust, sales of things that go up.
Dogs in bags.
Dogs in bags?
Dogs in bags. I'd imagine that's a boom thing.
Isn't that like an Essex delicacy? Can I have a couple of dogs in bags, mate?
Like chicken in a basket.
Yeah, chicken in a basket. Dog in a bag. Lovely.
It's a Korean delicacy.
People buy more perishable foods during a boom, you know, meats and fish and things like that, and then more pastas and things that you can store during a bust. But anyway, it seems that according to hemline theory, girls' hemlines go up as the market goes up, and so when a banker looks at a girl's legs, his mind is strictly on business. What starts with H and means that you'll always be the bridesmaid and never the bride. Phill Jupitus.
Hepatitis C.
Oddly enough, you're surprisingly close in a kind of way.
Herpes.
Well, you got the right first and last letter. Yes.
Halitosis?
Halitosis is the right answer.
I could have come up with that and got the laugh in the first place.
Halitosis was made up.
Yeah.
It was made up by...
Listerine.
By Listerine, the company that made Listerine, Lambert Pharmaca. And they had this product that they named after Joseph Lister, who was the father of antiseptic surgery, who kind of made everybody wash and everything. And they used it, first of all, as an antiseptic. And then, without changing the formula, it was for washing floors. And then it was a cure for gonorrhea. And then they thought, we'll call it a mouthwash. The same thing.
Was there a point where that was combined? It was like a gonorrhea thing. Like, actually, my mouth's quite... Oh, my halitosis has gone there.
Well, they invented, essentially, this new product, a mouthwash. It never existed before, and there'd never been a need for it. And so they had to invent a problem for it to solve. And they started this campaign saying, you know, hotel clerks say that 1 in 3 guests who checks in have halitosis, and dentists saying 83% of patients have halitosis. And people began to get very nervous about their breath. Of course, people have dog breath, let's be honest, there are. And dogs, I say, have people breath.
How can you tell someone?
It's so difficult. That was one of their campaigns, actually.
That's why packets of mints were invented.
Yeah.
And I always feel like someone's offering me a mint. That's definitely
That's It's true. I mean, these were the kinds of things they used as advertising slogans. They went from a tiny company to a vast one.
By inventing a name for something that was quite...
A kind of calling it a disease, and people thought, oh, I've got halitosis, and this is like a medical product that will sort of deal with it. And no one before... People had probably eaten things to sweeten their breath before, but it just...
I had a picture taken once with a koala.
You could just leave that there.
And it was eating eucalyptus leaves like they do, which are poisonous, but they've got a 48-mile intestine or something, and they can digest. But its breath was amazing.
It's sweet. It's lovely, isn't it?
It was pure eucalyptus. It was like Albus oil.
And even their fur smells lovely. It is gorgeous.
It was really amazing.
Yeah.
They looked at me like...
Is that the excuse you used when you started putting the moves on it? Koala started it, it was cuddling me. Next thing you know, if you had a beautiful breath, I thought I'd have a go.
None of that happened.
You say it didn't happen.
So if you had a really bad throat, could you get yourself a koala bear and put it in a big bowl and a tea towel? And just... That'd be a way to cure it.
You wouldn't want your wife coming in and seeing that.
No.
Oh, Lord.
Why not buy one of my Outback inhalers? They're cuddly and gorgeous. People just sucking on a koala.
Here he is, the little fella. Here he comes now. The little...
Oh, Australian asthmatics going, oh, no, dear, getting a koala out.
Wouldn't that have been brilliant?
Tickle his feet. Poor little fella.
That would have been brilliant if in Star Wars, when they'd taken off Vader's helmet, he just had a koala in there. Oh, that's better.
Now, so there you are. Halitosis was invented by an advertising agency to shift mouthwash. Now to handedness. Who might use a left-handed motorbike? Oh.
Funny outfit I've
It's
got on.
weird. Do you remember wearing that?
No. I remember that motorbike ride, though. It was exhilarating.
Is it one-armed men?
No. I guess they would have a use for it. But there was a real market for
By
left-handed.
which you mean throttle on the left?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Was it something to do with needing your right hand free for holding a gun, or...?
Yes.
I don't know, guess.
Spot on. Holding a gun.
Yeah.
Like,
Where can I get one of these motorbikes?
They turned the company that made them, the Indian Motorcycle Company, Motocycle, in fact, they call themselves. There they are, the Indians. It's an American motorcycle company. Between the wars, they were the largest motorcycle company in the world, and part of it was because they sold so many of these left-handed bikes to
Cowboys.
To cowboys? Was
the
it?
police.
Oh, the police.
Police all over America, so the police could drive and accelerate and decelerate and kill people with guns at the same time.
Why didn't they just fix a bayonet on the front?
That would be...
In fact, I'm thinking of getting one of those for my motorbikes for cyclists.
Really?
Yeah.
Bayonet?
Not to stab them or anything, just to get cheeky. Just a cheeky pull.
It don't need to be a bayonet, then.
Well, if you can use a bayonet, then use a bayonet.
I mean,
That's what I think.
It could be something else, like a
broom handle.
Cucumber or something. Yeah, you don't need it right. If you've just got a bloke in your
Well, if
sidecar with a Tommy
you-
gun, you're fine.
I know, unfortunately, that was the only photograph we could find. I've got some left-handed things here, some of which you can see the point of. This is a left-handed sort of biro or pen. It's a rather peculiar it's a shape, though.
It makes me feel slightly sick looking at it.
It's strange. I think the idea is you don't
But don't they
so you
say
don't
that-
smudge.
Like
lefties
left-handed people are like naturally evil. That's what they say, isn't it? that's a well-known fact.
The origin of the word.
Those pens do all they write just like I will kill again. I will kill again. That's all you can write with it.
Possessed pen, the left-handed pen, is it?
It's really hard to write with.
This is a left-handed. Do you want to try that? Try it with your right-handed.
It's just going to drive me crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if any left-handed people in the audience have ever found that pencil sharpeners are a real bore for in a right-handed world.
That has already annoyed me.
Well, that's how a left-handed person would feel.
Last thing you want to do.
With ours, then.
Well, they should have just adapted when they were younger. What's wrong with having a stutter?
It's not a condition being left-handed. It's
You
not
really-
an illness.
Well, you say that.
No, left-handed scissors, of course, are quite well made.
Oh, don't give a left-hander scissors.
They
They'll
used to
stab
make-
you in the face. Stab you in the face as soon as look at you.
It's where the word sinister comes from, isn't it? Isn't that right?
Sinister, indeed, is the Latin for left, yeah. If you're
Well,
ambisinistrous, what does that mean?
Left-handed and left-footed.
It kind of means you're crap with both hands. Ambidextrous is you're good with both hands. Ambisinistrous are people just can't write with either hand. But this will annoy you then. A left-handed can opener. There you see.
no.
But then just assume that all left-handed people are just as annoyed by right-handed things.
But just
they're a minority,
assume-
so they should be punished.
At least they're warned, you see. One of those could turn up in your kitchen with no warning.
Yeah, you would.
turn up in the morning. Yeah.
The only thing that could annoy Jack more now is if he opens that can and it's all left-handed peaches.
Just imagine. Well, thank you. You can give them back there, because I can see they've upset you.
There is a left-handed shop where you can buy all these things, and my sister is left-handed, and I actually thought one Christmas I will buy her something, you know, there'll be a thoughtful thing. And there's a shot, go straight, bang, right into it, and of course the door opened on the other side.
That's brilliant. Yeah. There's another motorbike question there that might interest you. Why do you think motorbikes aren't charged congestion fees in London?
ring-a-ding.
Yes, Ross Noble.
You're expecting us to say because they don't cause congestion and the thing will go whoop, whoop, whoop. But it's because of the cameras.
Yes.
The camera motorbikes have a plate on the back and they don't have a plate on the front.
Yeah.
So the camera only takes a photo from the front, so there's no way of knowing who it is.
You are absolutely right, and there are points in you for
Thank you
that.
very much. Thank you. Yeah. I'm just very good. I'd just like to point out that is the only thing I know. The only thing. And it's come up. I can't believe that. In my brain, as you started saying that, I went, I know what he's going to say here. I can use my one bit of knowledge.
Superb. Well done. Very good indeed.
They used to have a number plate on the front mudguard.
They did, sideways on, sort of.
Absolutely lethal. So that's why all cars now are big, smooth,
Yeah.
soft-fronted things.
Yeah.
It's actually now safe to be run over.
Yes.
Perfectly fine.
You know what would be brilliant is if they had, like, external airbags, so that as soon as you hit somebody, your car became a bouncy castle. So there'd be like a brilliant minute where you'd be walking along and you go, oh no, and then bang, hey!
But then you'd get collateral damage. You'd get a passerby who just gets shot into a shop window.
Even better. Or like you're just about to be run over and go, oh, better take my shoes off.
Thank you. Good. Well, left-handed motorcycles allowed right-handed American policemen to shoot at people while they were chasing them. Why would a Hopplerphobe be particularly nervous of a Sturmgewehr 44 with a Krumlauf modification?
Because he was French.
Well, yeah, but that's kind of true. It is, of course, a German something.
Is it
Sturmgewehr 44.
Is it a firearm?
It is a
Is it a
firearm.
machine gun?
It's not a machine gun. Funnily enough, I have one. Oh, assault rifle. Somebody speaks German there. Sturmgewehr.
That was slightly scary,
but
wasn't
it's
it?
the.
Yeah, you know you said that out loud, didn't you?
I've got 8 in my bunker. I can't tell you where, it's a secret location.
I've got hundreds of these as well.
Come the day,
Would you like to see one?
come the day.
Yeah, I would.
They're very,
Half of us will be ready.
they're very big, they're very heavy.
All your Christmases have come at once. Look at this. You've got no idea what you're doing with that.
There is the Sturmgewehr, which is a German Second World War assault rifle. The first assault rifle there ever was. But the Krummlauf is the interesting part.
Oh, I can see
The
it.
Krummlauf is this modification.
They don't like it happen.
So, this is a genuine article. It's brought to us by our very nice friends from the Royal Armouries in Leeds. It's going to spend the night in the Tower of London tonight. And this is this extraordinary...
shoot over the
Krummlauf.
trench.
You shoot over a wall or round a corner, and this is a periscope. And so if I'm here, I can actually...
None
I
of you
assure
have
you,
ducked yet,
it
that's
has
amazing.
been deactivated, I promise you. There is no chance. It's been checked and double-checked, but I can see the audience in my... And I can see the sights as well in the periscope.
Yes, it's been converted into a
I am
waterer
pointing
for
at the
flower
back
baskets.
row of the audience. And that allows me to do that. Or, as you rightly say, around a corner.
But there's another gun, isn't there? There's one that actually shoots round the corner.
Yes, there is. The
There's a new
Israeli
one.
army uses that, and
Yeah.
we might even have a picture of it.
lovely.
It's a much more modern development. There it is.
Yeah, that's
that
a
really
fella.
is extraordinary. And behind, though, is the first of its kind, a very simple invention, an Australian invention in the First World War, where you see a genuine rifle on top of the trench and a thing holding it and a periscope looking through the sight. Quite
But
clever.
much cooler just to go...
Oh, yes. It's so right. But there it is. It was in about 1943 it was invented. They started making them in 44. It's too late. Jerry didn't win the war, as you probably know. We gave him a bit of an old spanking, as a matter of fact. But this was in great demand for, you know, the Panzer people like them in their tanks.
Please tell me on the other side of the desk you've got the left-handed one.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that one that goes round the corner, do they have, like, ones that go that way and ones that go that way? Because that would really annoy if you ran up and you went,
Yeah.
oh,
I've got to go all the way around the block.
It was invented by a man called Hans Joachim Scheder, who was a washing machine manufacturer, in fact. He invented it for...
So it's got a spin cycle?
It's got a spin.
So is he just trying to, like, drum up a bit of business? When on the adverts where they go, it gets blood out. Oh, I tell you what. You're needing a washing machine.
And I said a hoplophobe, and a hoplophobe is someone who hates weapons.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was someone who's scared of hooplas.
According to UrbanDictionary.com, this literally is their definition. An irrational fear of weapons, generally guns, usually occurring as a result of a liberal upbringing or the fact the person is just a wimp in general. Rather than deal with the fear, said hoplophobe will assign human characteristics to a weapon, i.e. guns are evil or guns kill, to justify the fear rather than deal with the core problem of being a sissy.
I'll tell you something.
Yeah.
He wrote that.
You may have done assault rifle. Yeah.
I tell you what, I bet he wrote it with a left-handed
Now, don't play with it, because they did ask that nobody else touch it, because
Oh.
it is very valuable, I'm
I was
afraid.
going to make it go over the desk.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Can't believe
they
I'm not
did.
allowed to
I'm
play
afraid I was given specific Alan not to touch it instructions. It's very valuable.
I
Not many
love the fact
in
that
the world.
somewhere there's a memo that just says machine gun for Stephen Fry's use only.
Anyway, yes, the age-old problem of firing guns round corners has been solved by making guns that fire round corners. Time to inject a bit of humour and hilarity, I reckon. So why did the bomb disposal expert go to the joke shop?
Something you can get in a joke shop that helps you with bomb disposing. Fake poos.
Take me through the chain of...
I don't know how that would work.
Is it whoopee cushions? Put a whoopee cushion under to release the pressure plate.
That's quite smart thinking. It's not that, actually. They're called ammunition technicians. And they use a thing you might get in a joke shop or a
flower that sprays water.
shop. It is something you spray.
Oh, is it that?
Oh,
Is it that
no.
squirty stuff? The
silly string.
Silly string.
Silly string.
Silly string. Now, what use would silly string be?
Does it fill up the fuse area and block everything up?
No, it's not that. It's in case there are tripwires, very invisible tripwires, and you spray it and they fall on the
they fall,
tripwire
yeah.
without triggering it. And particularly, they have, of course, fluorescent silly string. So in dark corners where you might be, there's always the possibility, because so many bombs are booby-trapped. And
You know, it's nice that that's a real thing, but I just prefer them leaning over a bomb going...
In a big Margaret Thatcher mask. A rubber chicken.
I have to say, that would have improved that film, The Hurt Locker.
Yes. You're so right. Anyway, the army uses silly string to check for tripwires in booby-trapped houses. From houses to holes, you can't fit a square peg in a round hole. So how would you make a square hole with a round drill? That's the question. Can it be done? Yes, Jack D.
I would drill 4 small holes that don't laugh before it's happened. Might surprise you yet. I'm thinking while I talk. I would drill 4 small holes that would describe a square if I were to join
the corners?
Corners, and then with a hacksaw I would join them and knock the square through, and thus
It's a way
creating a square.
it's a way of punching a square into the surface, but there is actually a way of using a round drill bit to...
Well, my way's better.
That would have been brilliant if it had gone whoop, 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 and every word you said. One day, thing, even the bit
Don't laugh before you forget
it was on there.
There's a particular shape, a sort of circular triangle, which, when it revolves, a part of it makes a square.
A circular triangle?
So
around...
No, this is your first time. This sort of thing happens all the time.
It's a sort of circular triangle.
And it makes a square.
It's not the fact that I'm boggled by that, it's the fact that I now realise there's a possibility that you could have a Toblerone Rolo combo.
Something you've dreamt about for years.
Do you know the weird thing?
Roblerone.
Do you know what will freak you out completely, Ross Noble? Is the name for this form of triangle is a rouleau. It genuinely is.
I'm not joking.
I think you have to have points for that. You somehow found a triangle that was a rouleau. It's a rouleau triangle, is what it's called, and it's a very particular shape.
You know,
Have
if
we
we
got
come
one
on
and
this
am I allowed
show
to play with
and
it?
we discover things, what I'd like tonight is I've just discovered that the best 3 words to hear in a Geordie accent are Toblerone Rolo combo.
Thanks. Now everyone I meet's going to go, could you say Toblerone, please? Go on, Geordie man, dance first.
Yeah. You've got to form a band now
Yep.
All right.
called that.
Me and Cheryl Cole.
Yeah.
Me and Jimmy Neal.
Yeah.
As a team. Ladies and gentlemen, the Rotolo Rolo combo.
You've got to play the trombone.
The trombone. Yes, trombone. That's it. My God. Yeah. Right. OK. Do you want to see a picture of this rouleau triangle?
Yeah.
Let's see a rouleau triangle.
Is it only available in airports?
Yep. No. Let's roll it. There. Now you see there. That's a sort of round triangle. If you know, a round-ended triangle.
Yes.
There it is, and that is the drill bit, and it is describing a square. If you see, exactly. Isn't that crazy? How loony is that?
You sicken me.
Now, that shape may be familiar if you like cars and bikes. It's a type of piston, rotary piston, which is known as a
wankle.
A wankle or vankel, if we prefer to say it that way.
Wankel was a bloke, though, wasn't he?
He
An
was.
actual bloke called
Mr.
Wankel.
Vankel was indeed a bloke.
That's all you could do. If your name was Vankel,
Yeah.
just go, what are you going to do with your life? Well, it's going to have to be engines, isn't it? Or sex toys.
And I, for one, looking at that, I'm glad that he went the engine path.
Yeah. OK, so you can make a square hole with a round drill. But this is something even more extraordinary, in a way. This is from an ordinary cylinder. And all you do is just cut 2 wedges of it. As long as the cylinder is as long as it is wide, you cut the 2 wedges, and you can do something again that you're not supposed to be able to do.
Wedge the door open on a rabbit hutch.
No, it's rather amazing. You've got the 3 play school windows. You've got the square, the triangle.
You can push it through all of them.
That is a square now. Look, see? It's a square. Oh, there. Yeah. See, square, square.
Yeah. Go on,
But it's
put it
also,
through then.
Yeah, it's... Oh, hang on.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, it's also a triangle.
Yes.
Triangle. And it's a circle. Isn't that amazing? Just one shape.
Can we just leave that, like, at a playgroup and watch the kids' heads explode?
Do you want to try? Put the round into the square.
No, it doesn't work now.
It stopped working.
Stop working. Broken. Get the AA man.
Yeah, you got the circle. That's
Circle. Good. Yes.
Square.
Square. Yes.
Very good.
Yeah.
Triangle.
He wasn't great at school.
You realise if you get this through, a banana comes out of a shoot. no bananas for you.
No. Well done. Don't patronise me.
Aren't I? Applause for getting a bit of
So you
thing for a
can get
hole.
a round peg into a square hole, and a square peg into a round hole.
Let me
Well
play
done,
with the
class.
gun. I want to play with the gun that shoots around corners.
No, you can't play with the gun.
Special instructions. Don't let Alan play.
Police were baffled in London tonight by a series of murders committed round corners.
Right, yes, fact is, thanks to the wonders of geometry, it's quite possible to drill a square hole with a circular bit. While we're sanding and polishing, what is the roundest thing in the universe? Yeah.
No, just saying.
Oh, no, Phil. Oh, not at all.
You should see it when... no, the roundest thing in the universe.
Yeah.
Ball bearings.
Ball bearings are quite round, but
I
they...
swallowed a ball bearing.
The roundest... Dude, you mean smoothest, most...
Well, the most purely round, in other words. Because if you... Well...
The Earth is thingy, is it squashed? It's not round.
Not
it's...
round.
No, that's right, it's an oblate spheroid.
Oh, Nelly Furtado! He's got a word for everything.
Is it a liquid drop, a water drop?
They can get jolly round. They can be very round. Very nice. We're actually further out of space than Earth, beyond Earth. It's a cosmic phenomenon.
Is it a black hole?
It's that kind of a deal.
Oh, it's those space helmets, those big round space helmets with the things on the top.
Is it the thing called the genius point? Is it the point at which to which everything
Sucked in.
goes to ultimately?
Not that. It's when a supernova has a gravitational collapse, it turns into something called a neutron star.
No,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, the neutron star.
Oh, yeah. They're really round.
It's not round!
No, that's not... That's a supernova, I think. That's a supernova. Going supernova.
Then show us the round thing!
The reason... He's very upset, aren't you?
Yes!
It only has a diameter of about 15 miles or so, and there isn't one near enough for you to be able to see it with the naked
Have
eye.
you ever noticed how we always have to take Stephen's word for it?
But what's interesting is that if I had a thimbleful of a neutron star, it would weigh more than a mountain.
Yeah, but you don't.
Yeah. All right.
I'll tell you what, imagine how confused the old woman darning your socks would be if you had a thimble full of it. She was just trying to fix a hole, and and there's all space and time coming out with a thimble. That's no way to treat the elderly.
You're right.
You put a thimble down and no one can pick it up.
No one knows at all.
And when you've got a good cleaning lady, you want to hang on to them. You don't want to mess it around. I'm leaving, Mr. D. Why? Well, because of all this space business with your thimbles. I don't like it.
It might have double the mass of the sun, but it's only 15 miles across, roughly. And the highest mountain on it was 5 millimetres, so it is superbly round.
The highest
because,
mountain is...
as opposed to the Earth, which, although the Earth is jolly round, apart from the flat bits at the top, the point about the Earth is it's actually jolly smooth compared to, say, a billiard ball.
Smoother than a ping-pong ball, isn't it?
Yes, now why is that a snooker ball... Or
I'm sorry, I did not know there would be a follow-up question.
Yeah.
Why is the Earth...
If you were to scale up a snooker ball to the size of the Earth, the mountains and trenches would be hugely greater than our highest mountains or deepest trenches, i.e. the little pits that you can see when you examine a snooker ball closely, if scaled up to the size of the Earth, would be gigantic. So the Earth, in that sense, is smoother than a billiard ball. Which brings me round to a hypothetical question. What's made of jelly and lives forever? Yeah.
Shark-infested custard. Wrong joke.
Is it a famous jelly?
Royal jelly, bees.
No, what lives and is made of jelly?
Jellyfish.
A jellyfish. And what sort of jellyfish would live forever?
the
An
Highlander.
eternal jellyfish.
An eternal, or as it is known, the immortal jellyfish.
The immortal jellyfish, as I was about to say.
Yeah, you were. Turritopsis is its proper name, and there it is. And the extraordinary thing about it is it doesn't die. What happens after it sexes?
I'm going to sex ya. Jellyfish, I'm going to sex ya.
After it's had sex is the more normal way of saying it.
I have sex.
Marjorie, shall we sex? Come on. We have done sex for a good week.
Can't talk now, I'm sexing.
Why don't we say that? It's perfectly logical, isn't it? That's sex.
Some of us do say that.
Yeah. But anyway, after it's sexed, it can then turn back into a child. Its cells change function, the muscle cells and the sperm cells and the egg cells change back and they change back. And it literally goes, as it were, back in time and just starts again. Well,
that would
it's
be
the
a
same creature.
That'd be a bit unnerving for its partner, though. You know what I mean? You've just made love and then, pump.
Can we watch Great Hill?
Of course, they do die because they get eaten or they get diseased, but they don't actually die of old age.
I'm trying to work out which of those 5 phases is the emo one that paints his bedroom black and doesn't talk to you for weeks.
Well, now, what about human attempts to be immortal or to rejuvenate, at least? What was the great popular one earlier in the...
Cliff Richard?
20th century? True.
Being frozen. Cryogenic.
Well, that doesn't really rejuvenate. That's just kind of waiting until there's a cure, isn't there? But
Monkey glands, royal jelly.
monkey glands. And what did they mean by monkey glands?
The glands
What
of
sort-
a monkey.
Yeah, what really glands were they? They
What,
were
was it-
testicles.
No!
Yes. It started as human testicles, I'm sorry to say.
They're perfectly round. Round getting a billiard ball.
Simple.
If you were to scale them up to the size of the Earth, they'd take hours to scratch. Chinese farmers with rakes. Monkey balls.
Monkey balls. There was a man called Sergei Vonarov, who was a Russian who lived in Paris.
Hello, ladies. And I'm talking about the dude in the middle.
It started as human testicles, that he would inject parts of the human testicle in...
Hang on, injecting parts of the human testicles.
Yeah.
Is that what he told the ladies, was it?
But it was very popular. And in fact, Wolverhampton Wanderers, they had a striker in the late 40s called Dennis Westcott. And the manager of Wolverhampton Wanderers, I rather like this period in English football when managers were called things like Major Frank Buckley. You don't get many majors managing English football teams anymore.
Or indeed sexing.
Or indeed sexing.
I love the fact that you did one impersonation of me and now you can't use grammar at all. It's like, next week's QI has been cancelled. Noble, his infected fries brain.
Welcome to QI.
Major...
Get the monkey balls out, we're sexing it tonight.
Major Frank Buckley insisted on his striker having been injected with monkey testicles. And amazingly, he went on to score 38 goals in 35 games. And so then...
And he played hundreds of monkeys.
Then the manager of Plymouth made his team inject themselves or be injected with monkey. And
That's got to be an interesting team talk, isn't it? Yeah. What I want you to do, lads.
Yeah, right. It was, of course, bollocks in every sense. But it was very fashionable. The search for eternal youth. And now, look on my works, ye mighty in despair. It's time for general ignorance. How do snakes manage when their lunch is bigger than their head?
Ring, ring, ring-a-ding.
Yes, Ross Noble.
They dislocate their jaw.
Oh, Ross, you were doing so well. I am so sorry. No, this is a common misapprehension. They don't do any such thing. They just have very stretchy, wide mouths. They have a special bone, which in mammals has become our anvil and other ear bones.
So the choice was I could either hear very well or eat something bigger than my head.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. Essentially, it's this quadrate.
Evolution!
We can't hear you.
Yeah, but we've only got your word for it that picture there is a snake eating a mouse. That might be a new mouse creature that has a snake head.
It might. It might.
I'll
It's
have
a
them
lovely
points back,
thought.
please.
But doesn't it slip out or something?
No, it's a double jointed hinge.
And is that what they use on snakeskin handbags to get the...
Gosh, that would be a very impressive
more in.
handbag, wouldn't it? But sometimes they do overreach themselves. There was a case in 2005 in the Everglades of Florida where a Burmese python attempted to eat a whole alligator and it got it into it. That is an alligator inside a snake. But the alligator was still alive inside the snake and tore at the... and the python exploded. So, isn't that extraordinary?
And who lived? Who survived?
Well, I think the alligator probably was dead as well, unfortunately, by this time. It had got both dead.
Not a happy ending.
There were no
for anyone.
winners.
No winners.
And what you may ask what a Burmese python was doing in the middle of Florida?
was on holiday.
Yeah, it's on
Very popular destination.
It's a very popular destination. They're very popular pets, and that's actually the reason they're in Florida, because they escape and they find the Florida swamps very similar to the Burmese swamp where the python romp, as Noel Coward put it. So, yes, snakes don't actually dislocate their jaws to swallow big meals. They just have very stretchy mouths. What does a judge do when he wants order in his court? Here. Yes?
He bangs his gavel.
No, he...
British judges have never had gavels, never. They do on some television programmes, mainly because I think props people just think it looks good, but they never have them. They never, ever have them.
Sometimes if they're conducting an auction at the same time, they do.
If they were conducting an auction, but it's unlikely that's going to happen. Auctioneers do have gavels, indeed.
So,
they do.
judges,
Judges don't have gavels. No.
you've got one there.
I was a judge in Kingdom.
You were?
And I had a gavel in that, so... I think
Oh, did you?
Well, I think so, yeah. I seem to remember,
We got that wrong. didn't
Another
we?
reason why that show
That's why
went
it's
tits up.
cancelled. Yes, British judges have never used gavels, unlike American judges and auctioneers everywhere. And finally, the notorious pirate Blackbeard has just given me a map. What does the X mark?
The spot.
If anything, I suppose he gave me a map, it would be his signature, because he probably can't write. Most pirates couldn't. But the fact is, there is no case in history that anyone knows of pirates burying treasure and
Does it mean the whole...
drawing maps with X's on. It all comes from
Treasure Island.
Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. Why would a pirate want to bury treasure? I mean, you know... It's
Stop the other pirates getting it.
Yeah, but he's got to spend it. That's
Well, they
what
can
do.
hardly go to Bradford and Bingley, can they? Oh, we have a chest full of doubloons and booty. Yes, would you like fixed term or extended interest?
Oh, God, I went to the Bradford and Bingley and got stuck behind a bloody pirate. I was there for my whole lunch hour.
I got 20 Portuguese whore.
That's why they brought in those pens on the chains, because they couldn't get it with a hook. They'd be like that, and they couldn't... So they just hook the pen and it would go like that, and then he'd just do this.
Yeah, there are a lot of myths about pirates. There's no known pirate to have
Man's
a...
face is the colour of a strawberry. That's incredible.
What, you know who that is?
No, I don't.
Right, it's Robert...
Newton. Robert Newton, yeah, who really
defined
invented pirate speak.
Yeah.
That, Jim Lad.
That's
is Robert
all
Newton.
from him.
In fact, Tony Hancock's career started as a Robert Newton impersonator. That's what Tony Hancock did. That was his act. There's an International Talk Like a Pirate Day, isn't there, in September?
Somalian.
Somalian?
I met a kid from Somalia.
Yeah.
He came up alongside me on his push bike. He said, "You is on TV, innit? You is on TV, innit?" And I said, yes, it's nice to see you. don't walk away, don't walk away. You've got to help me get into TV. And I said, OK, well, how do I get in? I said, well, you know, join your local drama group. I don't know what I said to him. He goes, I'm Somalian, but I can do Eritrean.
There may be a demand for that, you know, somewhere.
I said, I'll see what I can do. I'll speak to the producers of Jonathan Creek.
On that bombshell, pirates very rarely buried treasure. They preferred to spend it, and they never once used a map with an X on it to help them locate it. So that's it. We've hobbled our way through higgledy-piggledy Hodge Podge, and all that remains is the humiliation of the final scores. My goodness, my gracious, my me. Holding his head high this week with a staggering +2 points is Jack D.
Yeah.
Holding his own in second place, a very creditable entry into the QI Stakes, is our newcomer, Ross Noble, with -6. Oh, what a triumph here, because holding out the hope of greater things, it's Alan on -8. Well done. Which means, sadly, hanging his head in shame on -10 is Phill Jupitus. That's all from this heterogeneous edition of QI, so it's good night from Jack, Phill, Ross, Alan and me. And I leave you with this. Good night.